Most people think that print-on-demand success comes from creating one or maybe even a few amazing designs. Well, that is actually not true for all print-on-demand sellers. The part that a lot of people don't know is that that statement is true if you are creating your own store. However, that statement is not true if you are using print-on-demand marketplaces. So the very quick explanation of this so you can see which category you fall into and which strategy you need to use for print-on-demand is that if you are running your own store for print-on-demand, you are going to be creating your own website, you're going to be bringing your own buyers, you're going to be paying for each order up front, and you're going to be running all of the customer service yourself. Now, with that being said, some of the big companies out there that you'll probably recognize if you're running your own store is Printful will be the biggest one, and then Printify, and then also Gelato. So if you're using any of those services, the chances are you're running your own store and print-on-demand. Now, with that being said, what is a print-on-demand marketplace and how is that different than running your own store? So a print-on-demand marketplace is an existing website where people are going to, they're searching through all of the listings to make purchases, and us as the seller, we're just creating the design and uploading it onto their marketplace. This means that we're not creating a website ourselves, we're just uploading to theirs. We're not bringing any buyers ourselves because they're already getting the traffic. We don't have to pay for any of the orders up front because the customer's paying the full amount when they make the purchase. And we don't have to handle any of the customer service because these big print-on-demand marketplaces, they handle it all for us. Now, to give you some real examples of that, Amazon would be the largest print-on-demand marketplace out there. Their department that runs this is called Amazon Merch on Demand, but essentially you can create your print-on-demand listings and upload them directly to Amazon. Another good example of a print-on-demand marketplace is Redbubble, and then one more to give you a good idea is called TeePublic. So with that being said, if you are selling print-on-demand on your own website, or if you're selling on a print-on-demand marketplace, there are totally different strategies. I would say as a beginner, if you're getting into print-on-demand, it's going to be a lot easier and a lot more affordable for you to use the print-on-demand marketplaces. So with that being said, in the next couple of minutes of this video, I'm going to break down the best strategy that works for print-on-demand marketplaces that even a total beginner could use. And by the end of this video, you'll be able to start using it yourself. Okay, so this strategy for print-on-demand marketplaces, the easiest way to explain it is instead of trying to create one or just a couple amazing designs and trying to get those as your best sellers, rather look into a bunch of different niches and try to see which phrases are selling the best in all of those niches. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that on these print-on-demand marketplaces, there are these certain phrases that all we're doing is changing out what the niche is, changing out the graphic, and putting that into multiple other niches. So rather than setting your mind to try to create one or just a couple amazing designs, rather set your mind to try to find what those phrases are, find niches that aren't already using that phrase, and then customize that phrase into that niche and get it uploaded to the print-on-demand marketplace. Okay, so the very first step here is you have to find one of these proven phrases. I'll put one up on the screen right here. This is a really good example. Born to go fishing, forced to go to school. Now, the idea here is that you would take this phrase, born to go, and then you would change the niche of fishing and then change the graphic and leave the rest, forced to go to school. To show you how this can be customized, if you search just born to go on Amazon, you're going to see some of the other categories that people have created designs in. Now, these are very broad examples, but I just want to show you this so it all makes sense. But you've got another born to go fishing, you've got born to play baseball, forced to go to school, born to play soccer, forced to go to school, born to ride, and then that's a photo of horseback riding. And as you scroll through here, you're going to find all these other examples, born to farm, born to go hunting. This is a perfect example of one of those proven phrases that you can apply to all of the different niches. Now, the obvious question here is, how do you find these phrases? And I will say, over the years of selling print on demand, you're going to start to recognize trends. You're going to see different phrases that you've applied into different niches that are all selling better than the rest. Those are going to allow you to put together a list of what these proven phrases are, and then you can just start using them to rinse and repeat into other niches. Now, for those of you who don't already have a bunch of sales data that you can kind of comb through and find these proven phrases, I will put a link down in the description to some proven phrases that you can get started with in your own business. Now, the second step to this strategy is finding out which niches have low competition or are not using these specific phrases already. Okay, so the obvious way to do this is you could just type in something like fishing t-shirt, and you can scroll through here and you can see if anyone is using that specific phrase already in this niche. The quick way to do this is you can just go up to the top and it says over 20,000 results. That means that this is going to be a competitive niche and there are very good odds that someone's already using that phrase. Now, this is just the most basic way of doing this. The way that I personally do it that's a lot more efficient is I use a tool to do it for me. This is the tool right here. It is called Merch Informer. If you've seen my other print on demand videos, this is a tool that I use as a foundation for my whole print on demand process. But with that being said, they have a really good research tool that's going to do all of the heavy lifting for us. Now, just before I get logged in here and show you how to use this, let me quickly just be as transparent as possible. This is a paid tool. It's about $10 per month. All you really need is the newbie plan. And two quick things, they do have a 3-day free trial, so you get full access to the features. So for this tutorial and for the next couple of days, you can do a free trial. And then for those of you who do want full access to this, I have a personal coupon code from them for 20% off. I'll put that down in the description below, so it's about $8 per month. Okay, with that being said, let me get logged in and I'll show you how to use this. Okay, so once you are logged in, all of your tools are over on the left side. They all open up into more tools within them. The tool that we are specifically going to be using for the research is called Keyword Finder within the Keyword Research tab. And this is where this gets really cool. So all you have to do is type in an overall niche and then you click search, and this is going to break that down into all of these subsets within that niche that are low competition, or in other words, are not using that specific phrase that we want to customize into that niche. So let me just show you an example here. So let's type in fishing. We'll give that a search. And then this is going to break down all of the different subcategories within fishing. So the easiest way to use this is just switch this from 10 to 100, and then you can keep scrolling down and it makes it a lot more efficient. But the idea here is that we already know that for fishing, born to go fishing, forced to go to school is already made. Someone's already using that, so we don't want to use that design. But what about all of these sub niches that are within fishing? These are all great ideas that you can customize that design to that other people haven't created. So to give you a perfect example of this, looking at this list, the first one that I'm seeing jumping out at me is Baja fishing. So instead of born to go fishing, forced to go to school, born to go Baja fishing, forced to go to school. Now, this number to the right is how many people per month are searching for that. So over 4,000 people per month are searching for Baja fishing. And the metric that I'm really looking at is you click the little eye icon right here, open that up, and this is going to give you a competition score. So this is an A rating right here. That is just like in school. You get an A if you did really well, you get an F if you failed, and all the letters in between depending on how good or how poorly you did. This A rating right here is telling us that this is a low competition, undersaturated niche. That is a great niche that not many other people have found yet. So quickly you open that up, you know, this is an A score. Okay, I'm going to create a design about that one. So then just select this, right click, copy it, go paste it in your notes, and then you can put together a big list as you go through here and you find more with A ratings. So that's the first example of this. That would be Baja fishing. As you keep scrolling through here, you're just going to find so many more. You've got bluefin fishing. Just click on it and see what the competition score is on here. That's another A, so not many people are creating designs in that. Now this process that we're doing right here, finding these sub niches, is what so many people overlook. They either don't know about tools like this, they don't know that they need to go into sub niches, or they just think that there's not enough people buying in those sub niches. Trust me when I say, when you find all of these sub niches before everyone else, you get your designs up there, you start getting the sales and the reviews. These print on demand marketplaces are going to love your listings because you are the first one there. The vast majority of other sellers in print on demand are just creating the general designs in the big overall niches. But when someone comes onto their print on demand marketplace and they're searching for one of these specific terms, and your designs are one of the only ones that has that in their title, description, features, these big marketplaces are going to show your listing. Okay, so we could probably finish this video right here. I think you've got the idea of how to do this, but let me just try to get as much value as possible into this video, and let me show you just the next step, which would be actually creating these designs, show you how to customize them so you can put them into a bunch of niches pretty quickly. So let me switch over to the next tool here. This is called placeit.net. This is the tool that I use for creating all of my print on demand designs. The reason I like them is everything on their website is copyright free and commercially usable. When you are creating designs for print on demand, you are going to make a profit off of selling that design. So not all graphic design tools come with copyright free, commercially usable elements. So with that being said, this is going to be another one of those paid tools, but trust me, it's worth it to have all of those usage rights. This one's about $8 per month if you pay on an annual basis. If you just pay month to month, you only want 1 month at a time, it's about $15. And speaking of that, I do have another personal coupon code from them for 15% off. I will put that down in the description, so if you want to use that, feel free to. But with that being said, let me get logged in and I'll show you how to create these designs. Okay, so once you're logged into your account, you have full access to everything on their site. What you can do is basically two things. You can hover over designs, go to apparel and print, and then come down to t-shirt designs. This is going to bring you into their entire library of t-shirt designs all at once. As you scroll through here, they have over 900 pages. There's something like 50,000 or more templates you can choose from. You can sort them by different things on the left side. What I prefer to do, because it's a lot faster, is if you know you're going into a certain niche, just start with that idea. So let's type in fishing. Give that a search. And then this is going to have t-shirt designs. It's also going to have mock-ups. Let's come over to the left side, hit more filters, and come down to t-shirt design specifically. And this is going to be all of the fishing specific t-shirt design templates. Now keep in mind here, these are going to be specific to fishing, but you can always change the graphics on any of these designs once you get into it. So you're really just looking for layouts. So you can scroll through here, you can pick any of these different templates. What I'm keeping in mind on this specific one is that we're using forced to go to school. So it's going to be a kid specific template. So something with a cartoon or something like like that would be a cool place to start. I'm going to use something like this. This seems like it would be a great place to start. Let's click on this one. That's what it's going to look like. Okay, let's edit that. Now, once you get into here, you are now in the editor. So you can move everything around. You can make it bigger or smaller just by dragging these sides out here. If you want to go back, just hit the back button right here. Or if you want to go back to the original layout of how it started, just hit the reset layout button at the top right here. Now, all we're going to do is a very simple edit here. So we're just going to change the text. And the way that you do that is you go over to these boxes that correspond to the text down here. So I'm going to say born to fish and then forced to go to school. Now, once you've filled in this text, then come down to the next box, hit edit, and you can change any of these graphics. So this is where this tool gets really cool. It's going to put in fish cartoon illustration just to give you similar designs to what it started with. There's just a couple here, but you can click on them and you can move them right into the design. You can go back to edit. You can click on the next one, see what that looks like, put that into the middle where it looks best. And then beyond that, you can go over here and you can switch this to something a little bit more broad. So let's try fish cartoon. This is going to give you even more to choose from. And then if you don't find something that looks good here, you can just go to fish in general. This is going to give you just a massive list of different fishing designs until you find something that you like here. Now, if you do find that you want to change the colors of the fish, so this is orange and blue right here, just click on the orange and blue right here. It'll allow you to change that to any colors that you like for your design. Okay, so from here, this is just the very standard way of how to make one of these templates. The only step you have to do before you can download it is click on this background color. See how it's yellow in the background? That would actually get printed on the print on demand shirt. So we don't want that. So we're going to go to background color, come to the very bottom down here, the checkerboard. That's going to remove the entire background. This will then be perfect to print on a shirt. Placeit just makes it super easy to use that background removing feature. If you download it with a background, it's just a lot harder to remove that background after without leaving some of that color around the border. So as a general rule of print on demand, always remove the background before you download that design. Now, speaking of downloading the design, just come up to the top here, hit download in the top right, give this 1 second. It's going to say processing your design, and then just click here to download. And then just like that, you have this design file on your computer. When you zoom in here, you can see that it is high quality. So when it prints, it's not going to be blurry on these websites. And this file has no background, so it's ready to be uploaded to the print on demand marketplaces. So quickly, let me bring you back in here. This is where things start to get pretty cool. So we use the general template born to fish, forced to go to school for this example. But all of those sub niches that we found, that's what you want to be using for all of these designs. So born to go Baja fishing, born to go bluefin fishing. As you find all of these sub niches, that's what you're putting in the text and then just finding a graphic that relates to that specific sub niche. Now, what's cool too about this is although we started with a fishing template here, you don't have to stay on just fishing. You can customize this to anything else. So for example, let's say we wanted to use born to skate. Let's say that skateboarding was a really good niche that had low competition. You would change that to born to skate and then come over here to the graphics. I'm going to type in skateboarding. Let's just do skateboard. Let's find a graphic that looks good. Let's click on this one right here. And as I mentioned before, if this is a little bit off center, you can just go ahead and reset layout. It's going to put that into the center. So it kind of lines everything up for you with one click and boom, there you go. You can use that same template with the same type of phrase. And just by switching what that niche is and switching the graphic, you can really start to make these designs pretty quickly. So guys, I know this was a lot in this video. If you have any questions about this strategy for these print on demand marketplaces, just let me know down in the comments. Again, those discount links I'm going to put down in the description. So if you want to use those, feel free. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please just give it a thumbs up. I really would appreciate it. All right, guys, that's it for this one. I will see you all in the next video.